Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Glad to see you guys here. Let's see what we got in here today. We have Indiana Pez, we have Barb, as well as Caleb, SPC Lafayette, Jim, Girl Dev, Leighton, French Toast. Glad to have you guys all here, as well as everyone else who's just watching, not chatting. Glad to have you here as well. Caleb says, I thought I heard your intro music on the speakers at the store, but it was your stream playing. It wouldn't surprise me. My music, it's from YouTube, which means it's not copyrighted on YouTube at least. So I don't know if stores would have rights to that. But it's not copyrighted, pretty much. It's not copyrighted, at least for YouTube, so you can use it, whether you're monetized or not. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive right on into this. We got a lot to talk about. There's a pretty good chance I'm going to be able to get through it in about an hour or so. So we're going to go ahead and just hop right over here to our main screen. Everything's good. Is that the right date? Yes, it is. Okay, so there is so many days of severe weather ahead. We were anticipating this for a while. Of course, Twitter being Twitter, 3 weeks ago, they said the end of May would be inactive. Here we are, approaching mid-May now. I'd consider this mid-May, to be honest. We're at 14. I assume we're in mid-May, so we are going to move into late May, and it's going to become a very active, very active stretch of severe weather. So I'm going to go ahead and not switch the scene, because I need to show you all the outlooks that we have so far. Right now, we've got a big area of marginal slights, thunderstorm risks all over the place. We've got a marginal up in freaking Idaho, down through Utah, Colorado, not including Texas, actually. This one includes Oklahoma, New Mexico, back up towards Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota. This severe actually had a very big hail core on it. Was it this one or the one behind it? You know what? I have this up, and this can load it and show us. Okay, so it was the one behind it. This thing had a big hail core. Like, it was producing near 2-inch hail at one point. So that one was pretty interesting. Then we have another marginal risk back out here towards Texas. This is, keep in mind, just one day. Another marginal risk out here towards Plainview, down through Lubbock and Big Spring, back through San Angelo and Brady, Texas, up near Abilene, Sweetwater, Snyder, all the way up towards southwest of Memphis, Texas. Then we got another risk for severe weather. We have a slight risk. I'm fairly confident this risk is over. I'm fairly confident this risk is done. I don't know why they would still have this in place. I could look real quick. Oh, okay. We're expecting overnight thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes. Alrighty then. Are we sure that's tonight? Today's Tuesday, right? Yep. So we actually are expecting the potential for tornadoes tonight. I was unaware of that. out here in Florida, and that is actually going to be a 5. Oh, never mind. That's a 2%. Tomorrow is actually a 5% for tornadoes. So we could have overnight tornadoes that persist from tonight into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening down here towards Florida. So pretty much if you're in Florida, just be weather aware. I mean, really, if you live anywhere in Florida, just be weather aware. But especially from Tallahassee down through near like the Cape Coral area, that's where severe weather is going to be the most likely tonight into tomorrow. And again, this is tomorrow's outlook. But back to today's outlook, we have a slight risk that also extends up here towards Nashville. This is some ongoing, just isolated damaging winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. Not anything too crazy. So just big risk areas. There's not really any concentrated area of like the potential for significant severe weather tonight. Our highest tornado threat by far is going to be out here in Florida late tonight into tomorrow. But, you know, we do have a 2% that extends from Florida all the way up towards Kentucky, Indiana, back up towards South Dakota and Nebraska. There's another 2%. So there's a very large area of 2%. There's a pretty good chance we see at least one tornado somewhere tonight. But we'll just keep an eye on it. And then we move on into tomorrow. And guess who's under a marginal out here? Both me and Lucky are under a marginal risk out here in Virginia and North Carolina, as well as going down here towards South Carolina and Georgia. This is not for any tornadic potential. I don't see any tornadoes being a possibility out here tomorrow, but the wind threat is present and the hail threat is present out here. And then, like I said, we have the slight risk for severe weather out here in Florida as well. That's a 5% tornado risk, 5% wind, and should be a 15% hail threat there as well. And then we got another slight risk for tomorrow and a marginal risk for tomorrow. So that's a level 1 and a level 2. This is for not tornado potential, but we do have a small 2% out here for tomorrow. Main threat with this should be isolated damaging winds of 60, possibly as high as 70 miles per hour, and isolated large hail is as large as 1 to 1.5 inch in diameter. Doesn't stop there. This is probably going to be one of our more notable days. This is going to be the day 3 outlook, so that is for Thursday out here for the DFW in Texas up to OKC. We've got a large marginal risk and a confined slight risk here, level 2 for severe weather. I would not be surprised at all if we see this upgraded to a level 3. I don't think it will be for tornadoes at all. I think it will be for hail. So this is probably going to be another big hail day where we talk about the potential for 3-4 inch hail in Texas. That just seems to be nearly a daily occurrence out here in Texas. And then we do have a small marginal up here in Missouri. Shouldn't be anything of big concern for day 3, which again is for Thursday. And I don't know if I mentioned that, but there is also a hatched area already. We already have a day 3 hatched area, which means severe weather could be significant out here. Should specifically stick to the hail side of things. And it doesn't stop there. We've got a day 4, 15% chance for severe weather. This could also be a bit more of a notable day. However, uncertainty does exist on exactly when the timing of the trough will occur. Because if the trough, if the trough occurs overnight, it's probably not going to be that big of a severe threat. But if that trough speeds up and it ends up occurring towards, the afternoon hours of Friday, then that could end up being a massive concern, which unfortunately, the NAM model shows that, and that would actually paint a worst case scenario. I don't really think that's going to happen. If that were to happen, we'd have the potential for tornadoes in this entire area here. That could be a big outbreak if the NAM were correct. But remember, what do we call the NAM? Never accurate model. So I wouldn't be worrying about that. But my word, definitely keep an eye on Friday. That might be a bit of a sleeper day. Even though we have a day 4, 15%, I haven't seen many people talk about that day, and it might be a bit more notable than, what we're anticipating right now. There's no risk on the day 5, 6, day 7, or day 8 outlook for the SPC. However, we are eventually going to see an outlook for severe weather outlined by the SPC for one of, if not all of those days. As we go into next week, over the next coming days here, we're going to have a ridge that sets up. And remember, whenever you get a ridge that sets up, what's that going to do? It's going to pull in a bunch of energy and instability up here into the South Central Plains. So if we just, for instance, let's just switch to our instability. I haven't even looked at this, and I'm very confident of it. And there you go. There there's a bunch of instability that gets pulled right on up. And then as the trough swings through on none other than May 20th, that gets flung up even more north here as we go into Monday. So very late next week into early next week looks to be the greatest severe potential, because we get a ridge that builds up out here, and that's going to allow for not only just like 1 or 2 days of severe weather. This should allow for possibly as much as a week of consistent severe weather to potential tornadic activity in the plains. So we should have multiple days of outbreak potential. Now it's still far out to the point where we got to keep an eye on it. We got to keep an eye on it because it could just dissipate, but I am very confident in a big severe threat eventually unfolding, whether that be on, a Friday or a Monday. But I mean, ensembles are already very confident on May 20th being a significant day, possibly even May 21st, May 22nd, May 23rd, May 24th, May 25th, even May 26th. May 27th too, May 28th, it starts to die out. So, I mean, just off of the ensembles alone, which, typically these actually underdo severe events, believe it or not, you're looking at severe weather. I mean, Gracious Day. I mean, according to this, it really kicks off Friday, like I was telling you guys about. Watch Friday, because right now it's a slight risk, but don't let that sneak up on you. It could be bigger. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then finally calms down as we go into Wednesday. At the end of the run, this whole run is full of severe weather. The whole run is full of severe potential. It has been a hot minute since I've seen that. Typically, there's like a lot of model uncertainty, and it's like iffy. This is a whole model run full of severe potential. Man, that makes me dizzy just looking at it and thinking about what severe weather may occur with that one. But another thing we got to watch is the troughs here. Because a lot of this may not be that big in tornado potential. As you guys know, for like the last 4 days here, it's been a lot of the wind and hail, right? The 6.5-inch hail in Texas and the 85-mile-an-hour winds in Louisiana. Not a ridiculous amount of tornadic activity, and that's thanks to the trough ejections. They haven't been that strong. So if we end up with a strong trough, like I said, Friday, I mean, here's Friday morning, and you've got a very easy to depict neutral tilted trough here. And then as we go into the afternoon hours, I mean, the GFS times this perfectly for this to be a big severe threat. And look at that, you get a short wave that's negative. So all of a sudden now you're going into the nocturnal hours of Friday night into Saturday morning, and you've got a nocturnal tornado threat on your hands out here. So I feel like that might be, I really feel like that's overdone on the models. The models just have this being a big day on Friday. I feel like that's not the case. A shortwave trough is forecasted to move across the southern plains and into the lower Mississippi Valley on day 4 Friday. Amid strong lower-level flow, this will proceed to increase the shortwave spreading eastward in the lower Mississippi Valley across the southeast. An air mass over the lower Mississippi Valley will be characterized by low to mid-70 dew points with strong instability developing ahead of the approaching shortwave. Severe thunderstorm development is anticipated as the shortwave associates with the surface low interacts with the unstable and strongly sheared air mass. The timing of thunderstorm development and favored convective mode remains uncertain, but overall environment and the potential, including a 15% chance for severe weather in central Louisiana down through central and southern Mississippi. So they actually already have quite strong wording. It's just the uncertainty of how storms fire, which has been the story of 2024. Is it going to be a linear mode? Is it going to be discrete? Is it going to be messy? So it seems like that's their main concern on how, what may limit this severe potential. But if we manage to see like just a line or just discrete storms and not this messy cluster of storms like we're going to see tonight into tomorrow, that should keep that tornado threat to a minimal. Then Friday could be a very big day. But right now it's too far out to determine that. That's why they don't have a massive 15% out on day 4, but they do have a day 4 risk out. So I would definitely be hyper weather aware out there. Well, that camera looks familiar. That was the camera for Beaufort County EMA above my face cam. This one's in Chapel Hill department or Depot St. Chapel Hill, Tennessee. That is our severe thunderstorm warning. Nothing too overly impressive there. I can't tell if that is a shelf cloud because of the camera resolution. It may be, but to me that just looks like clouds. It doesn't look like a... If it is a shelf, it's a very weak one. If it is a shelf, it's a very, very weak one. But yeah, Friday, keep an eye on it. What does the NAM model say for Friday? I'm pretty sure I looked at this. Alright, you know what? Just for the fun of it, I want to absolutely cherry pick this sounding. This is about to be pure insanity right here. This is completely cherry picked. Oh, dude, this would be a big threat Thursday. Hold on, what does the initiation look like on this? See that? See how it's very indecisive on if storms even fire throughout the midday. You get this morning convection that's probably going to stabilize the atmosphere. Yep, see that? It takes up all that instability that's there. It takes it all up, so the atmosphere has to re-destabilize. That puts a lot more strain on the thunderstorms, and we see this messy mode develop on this model run. So that would minimize our severe potential for that day. So, yep. Honestly, not even a shocker with that, but let's just get rid of that. Yeah, so this would be the high-end sounding for Friday. This would be the worst-case scenario, and the NAM depicts that. I mean, you've got perfect veering. Perfect. Just perfect. That is a... Well, other than the lapse rates, the lower-level lapse rates, that is a perfect sounding. That is a doozy. In 2024, that has been a massive bust factor, as Twitter likes to call it. Basically, what could choke the severe threat to where it doesn't materialize is what we were expecting. So, that would definitely do it. That would definitely do it. That's why the NAM model depicts this messy convection, and also why the NAM doesn't initiate anything towards the afternoon hours, and it waits towards, the late evening into the early night hours. Hello, Legacy. I think are you in a severe? Oh, you're very close to it. And there's a storm just to your southwest with some rumbles of thunder and some isolated, very small hail and maybe damaging winds as well. Now, one thing that is still a bit of a question mark is the exact timing and placement of the severe potential beyond Friday. So that goes into, of course, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and whatnot, the rest of May, pretty much. So whilst these models are fairly confident on it occurring in Texas, Oklahoma, for instance, let's just choose May 20th because that's one of the closer dates. It's very confident. This ensemble is very confident on severe potential out in the southern plains, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Whilst it's confident on that, I do want to check the consistency. Whilst that loads here, which it's not going to be able to, huh? Let's just choose the deterministic model run then. Yeah, let's just do this. Make sure you guys have hit that like button and share this stream with your family, friends, social media. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel, up to you. You can subscribe to the channel because we'll be live for all of these severe threats. Now, after May 24th, there is something that happens on May 24th. So, and that's going to involve the channel. I'll probably still be live. But it's going to influence exactly what timing I get to go live on Friday. So we'll see how big that threat ends up being. But here's the consistency. And yeah, there's not a lot of it for this particular day. It just started to try to become consistent on the last 3 runs. So that's why I said the exact placement is not perfect. And it's not set in stone. So just keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Just quickly checking something. Alrighty. Johnson City. There is barely any threat for severe weather in terms of, well, not severe weather, but tornadoes. There's barely any threat anywhere in the U.S. for today, and tomorrow it's a little bit more notable in Central Florida, but the tornado threat as a whole is going to be very isolated. It's going to be very difficult to predict as well, especially tonight. But you really shouldn't see much of anything out there. Yeah, I mean, storms don't get to you till about 1, 2 a.m., so you should be fine. Like I said, there's no big severe weather threats right now that's highlighted from the SPC. And by the way, when we talk about big severe threats and like a massive system, typically in order for it to be like a big severe threat, you're looking at an enhanced or greater, because a slight risk, that's a marginal is like your ordinary garden variety thunderstorms that are a little bit on the severe side of things. And then a slight risk is like, okay, this is getting a little bit up there to where I need to, start paying attention. And then an enhanced is where, all right, I need to be, hyper weather aware today. Because that enhanced is where we really start to talk about, big severe potential. And that's where we've seen some outbreaks before. We have seen outbreaks on a slight risk, but a slight risk outbreak is extremely rare. That is very, very rare. So that's why we take enhanced risks extremely, extremely seriously. And you should take every risk seriously. But the higher the risk category goes, so, we have 5 categorical risks. We have these green, marginal, slight yellow, enhanced orange, moderate red, and then the pink high. The higher the risk is, the more likely you are to see severe weather. So, what's that? Oh, okay. So basically, what it says, basically what they are telling you to do is just make sure you're hyper weather aware. Um, and the higher the risk is, the more weather aware you have to be. But I suggest just being weather aware for all risks, because you could see severe weather on any of the risk days. But if you say you end up with like a tornado on a marginal, that is a whole lot more rare than if you end up with like a tornado in a high risk. We're not expecting any tropical development in the Gulf of Mexico anytime soon. I've seen some weather YouTubers hyping that up, and it's not going to happen. Like, nothing is going to develop at all. If anything, they might highlight like a 10% for a tropical low pressure that could move through, but it's not going to develop, period. There's no chance it can, and I'll show you the good old killer of hurricanes out here that we all know and love, unless you're a hurricane. And it's called wind shear. Here's your wind shear. Switch all over here. Nothing can develop in this. Nothing at all. I mean, let me just switch to precipitation type. And I mean, even there's barely even precipitation inside that wind shear. So nothing is going to develop there at all. But I will say this. Now, as opposed to the Gulf, Gulf's highly sheared. The EPAC, which is the Eastern Pacific, is not sheared. In about like 5 days from now, around the realms of the... Man, I don't know when the 17th is. Okay, 3 days from now, matter of fact. The Eastern Pacific gets less sheared, and look what develops according to this model run. That is a hurricane, actually. That would probably be a Category 1 hurricane right there. If not pushing borderline Cat 2 in the Eastern Pacific, if that were to occur. Now, something that I love to check all the time is the ensembles, because that shows, how confident models are in it actually forming. Let's go ahead. This is Tropical Tidbits, by the way, for those of you who didn't see the watermark up there. So you could see a few, it starts to form a few areas here. May 17th. Oh, it's starting to blow up. There's May 18th, and you've got a very tight spread of consistency between three different groups. So it's not set in stone exactly where it will form, but you've got one group here, and then another group here. And the good news is I don't believe any of this goes towards land. It might aim that way, but we'll have a high pressure that blocks it. And you know what that high pressure is? That's going to be the high pressure that sets up over here. Let me draw in a different color. The high pressure that sets up over here, that's going to help pull up a bunch of ingredients up towards the central plains so we can get severe weather. So this high pressure is going to both help severe weather, but also block off a hurricane. So that's going to help. These are just going to go whoop right out there and probably die off somewhere out here. So it'll have a pretty good window. I mean, it's going to have a pretty large window for the potential of formation out here. So I'm very confident in it forming. And, you know, National Hurricane Center still have a day 7 30%. Honestly, it's smart to just keep that at 30% until we get closer to the fact that we know, or, you know, when we know that the wind shear is going to dissipate. So they're playing the safe game right now, which is always a better option. Alrighty, back to severe weather. So yeah, this is just one deterministic model run, so this isn't your ensembles. Your ensembles are most of the time more accurate, if not all the time more accurate, because they combine 20 models. So basically what they do is they combine 20 of these GFS model runs, and they put it into one, and then it averages it, which makes it a whole lot more accurate. So we'll just, you know, just for fun, we'll use the GFS just to see how ridiculous it goes. Typically, I only like to use the GFS once we get closer. We're far out to the point where I take everything with, you know, beyond May 19th with a grain of salt. But it does show, like I said, severe potential in Oklahoma, Texas for Monday. And guess what? Tuesday. And guess what? Wednesday. And guess what? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I think that's the end of the model run. Oh, nope. We get one more day in Tuesday. And that's funny. That's funny. Me get severe weather. Wow, that is mighty impressive for Virginia and North Carolina. Is that a shortwave? Look at that. Wow. Man, now that is mighty impressive. I do have to say that. If that were to actually occur, I would be blown away. But there is a, like, near 0% chance that actually happens. It's at the end of a model run, so we don't trust it at all. But again, this is our ensembles. So you can see this is all the different runs that it combines into one. So it combines all these members into one, and you get this map right here. And so that's why I like to use this the most. You'll hear me say the GFS ensemble. And look at that for Sunday, May 19th, and then Monday, May 20th. It already has red there. Basically, with this color table, what I look at it is more of a confidence meter, less of a significant severe weather meter for this. So basically, this model is really just saying severe weather is likely in this area at this moment. But yeah, sometimes, you know, if you look at this the wrong way, you may determine this as, like, you know, a big, massive, severe event. But, you know, like I said, one run before, it's less. Run before that, it's less. Run before that, oh, it's getting smaller. So basically, like I said, I look at it as consistency. So basically, if I see orange or red on here, I'm like, yeah, severe weather is probably going to happen on that day. But I wait until we get closer to the point where I can use this model, the GFS model, the single deterministic run, and then I could be like, okay, well, this model says, you know, it's more pinpointing towards Kansas, but the ensemble says it's more out here towards Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, more east than what the deterministic says, which means we're too far out. 156 frames out. That's far out. It's not fantasy land, but it is right in that range that I like to take it with a grain of salt, but still note that it's probably gonna be a possibility in the future. And then beyond 180 hours out, that's where I consider it. You need to just toss it in the trash can. And then beyond 240 hours out, at that point, you're just looking at it for fun. So now, basically, beyond here, we're just looking at this for fun. But even, you know, this far out, 300 frames out, it still has an orange there, which shows you that it's fairly confident in severe weather, which, I mean, over the last, you know, I keep going back, and it still has yellow to orange right in that area. So it shows you that model run is fairly confident in severe weather occurring out there on that particular day. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I know a lot of this is confusing, but long story short, severe weather is going to be possible for the remainder of May. The significance of the severe potential is yet to be determined because it's so far out. There you go. That's your rundown to make it a bit more easy. Let me see here. Raleigh is inside a considerable. Wow. A considerable flash flood warning for Raleigh, North Carolina. That's something. It's pretty rare to see that in North Carolina. Pretty doggone rare. You are in a severe, aren't you, Legacy? This is Beaufort County, MA, above my face cam. That's what it looks like out there. The bulk of this, the strongest portion of this storm, is going to be probably, there's going to be two different areas. So one's going to go right towards your Legacy. It's in Eagleville right now, and it's going to go right through Murfreesboro. And then the other area is out towards Shelbyville, down through Flintville. That's going to go up towards the Lynchburg region, which I could show you here. So basically, this is where TRG lives, and the severe storm would be going to the north and to the south of me. Long story short, I live here. The severe storm splits to my north and to my south. That's basically what it would do here in North Carolina. It's been raining like all day. Oh my goodness, it's about to end. Finally. Finally, it's about to end. I still have like a good solid hour left, but at least it will end soon. It's been raining all day, which I can't say that I didn't want that because I wished for a lot of rain. I was kind of hoping for strong to possibly severe storms, but I'll take normal rain because the pollen's been crazy. I've been exploding. Exploding from sneezes. Welcome, Brooklyn, Legacy, Catman, Proxy. How close are we? Proxy, I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you're doing well as well. Biddy. Let's see, Eddie. Hey, DRG, what's gonna happen in South Mississippi this week for what days? So I can't tell you a whole lot about it. Main thing is full screen that. Main thing is just be very weather aware. Just, consistently check back in with this channel. But the main day, in my opinion, to watch is going to be Friday right now. It may end up being off to your north. It may end up being for you. So just keep an eye on it. And then beyond that, there's just a lot of uncertainty. So right now, I'm just watching Friday for Southern Mississippi. And beyond that, it really doesn't look big for Southern Mississippi at the moment. But that could easily, and I mean easily, change. Let's see. Tulsa look tomorrow. Let's see here. Tulsa. Some isolated thunderstorms late tomorrow night. Mainly large hail, isolated damaging winds. I wouldn't completely rule out a brief weak tornado, but that tornado threat is going to be very, very low. Very low. Thank you for liking the stream, Eddie. Much appreciated. Welcome, Storm Dakota. Pokey. Let's see who else we got in here who's chatting. And everyone else, of course, who's not chatting as well. Glad to have you here. Michael. Let's see. Riley. What should I expect for Indiana, Pennsylvania tonight? Probably not a whole lot. Okay, yeah. So you're up here in PA. Some isolated rain showers. It should not be anything crazy at all. Just some rain, really. I wouldn't fully rule out a rumble of thunder, but it should mainly just be rain. Let's see. I don't know if I did welcome you, Jim, but welcome to the stream, Jim. That random guy. Daniel. Let's see here. It seems like we won't get a break from bad weather for some reason. Yeah, that's May for you. It's May. It's May, so that's just what May is. Regardless of what Twitter wants to say. Hello, Dave. Welcome to the stream as well. It's just reading all the chats that I missed, because there was like 100 of them. I read a few chats, but not all of them. I'm leaving for the beach Friday. Uh-oh. Who wants to tell Legacy? Because I don't. I'm not telling her. You tell her. Yeah, basically, does this explain it for you? You're a weather enthusiast. Hopefully you know what this is. Yeah. It ain't looking too good. It ain't looking too good. I'm pretty sure I told you we may have severe potential on that day, which is Friday, like 2 weeks ago, but it was too far out. Now it's close enough to the point where I would say severe weather is definitely going to be a possibility, but it is still just a bit too far out to determine if it's going to be like, you know, really big or just rain with isolated rumbles of thunder. For days, let's see how much rain. Saturday does not look fun. Friday night into a good chunk of Saturday does not look fun. Sunday looks like it clears out for Sunday. Monday looks clear, isolated rain showers to your west. Tuesday looks relatively clear. Wednesday looks relatively clear. Thursday, scattered showers. Friday could be a bit more of a rainy day. And Saturday looks pretty clear as well until you go towards Saturday, late Saturday afternoon. And then, yeah, beyond that, it gets too far out for me to even want to look at it. But that's generally what you're looking at is just isolated rain chances for most of the days. It's complete hit or miss. A lot of that should completely miss, though. The main day to probably watch out for is Friday night, Saturday. Pete, welcome to the stream. I was gonna welcome Pete, but I don't know. I didn't know if he was in here. I forgot if he chatted. But welcome, Pete. I bet you've been in here like the whole stream. Leaving the 17th, coming back on the 26th. Dang, Legacy. That is a vacation. Holy. That is a vacation and a half. Honestly, a good chunk of that should be pretty clear. The 17th, you said? Yeah, I think the 17th and the 18th is going to be your best shot at rain late on the 17th into the morning and afternoon hours of the 18th. That looks to be your best shot for rain. After that, it should be pretty good, to be honest. I don't want to jinx you. But hopefully it'll be okay after that. Hello, Haley. Welcome to the stream. What should I expect for Harris, Iowa? Let's see. Looks like some rain with some rumbles of thunder, and that's probably about it. It shouldn't be anything over the top. I wouldn't be too surprised if a sneaky severe storm could try to sneak in there somewhere in northwestern Iowa tomorrow. Yeah, but it shouldn't be anything crazy. It's isolated thunderstorms, but yeah. Isolated strong storms, really. Let's see here. Is this now? Hold on, y'all. This has to be old. I don't see where there would be a big tornado on the ground. What? We have reports of a big tornado on the ground out here in South Carolina. I don't believe that. But there is clear video evidence of a possible tornado. Is that a tornado? That looks like a tornado to me. There may be a tornado on the ground right now. And if there is, it's a big one. I don't see where the heck that would be. I don't see any storm that would be capable of producing that big of a tornado out here. Let's see here. This one? I'm very skeptical of this video for sure. Huh. Marion, am I looking at the right area? Yeah. Yep. This right here had a tornado reported with it. Going right into Marion. Huh. Interesting. It wouldn't be warned because it doesn't have any good radar presentation at all. Like I would never think that is producing a tornado. I'm very skeptical of that video. We'll know shortly because we'll have a lot of reports from emergency management and law enforcement and general public if it was a tornado, because it's not like this just went through an area of woods. Like if there was a tornado on the ground, this sucker went through a city, on the northern side of a city. So if it is a tornado, I'm very confident that we'd see more reports. So I don't want to retweet that because I don't know how valid it is. So we'll see if it gets warned because the National Weather Service has been notified of it. We'll see. Yeah, it's unwarned right now, Jim. Here, let me switch y'all. I didn't even realize y'all were stuck on that stubborn model run thing. This is what I was looking at here. So somebody reported a tornado with in video evidence again. Like there's a video of a tornado that might have touched the ground out here near Marion. But I just don't see anything solid with this. Now it would be towards Mullins. That's how you say it, South Carolina. This is in southeast South Carolina. But I just don't see anything crazy at all. I just don't see how that would be producing a tornado. Like I said, if it is on the ground, we're going to see more reports. It won't just be from one person. If there's actually a tornado on the ground, we're going to see it, from a whole lot of people. Huh. I mean, yeah. That's a tornado. I'm just very skeptical of it, though. There might have been a big tornado that moved right in between Marion and Mullins here, South Carolina. Take that lightly, though, because, like I said, we've only got one report of it from social media, and that is it. So we'll see. We'll see. That might get warned after we end stream sometime. But keep an eye on that. So, anyways, let me go back to chat. Yeah, like I said, there's no warning here at all. It's unwarned. It wouldn't be warned because it doesn't have a good radar presentation. Let's see. No, Girl Dev, you haven't. Will I get severe weather Friday? Let me see. There's a very low likelihood of it. Yeah, Friday, no. Maybe some general thunderstorms. But it shouldn't be severe weather, no. Definitely not tornadic. 100% not tornadic. I'd be blown away if you managed to see even a small chance for a tornado on that day, because there's no jet stream with it. So it'd just be like thunderstorms. That's it. And some rain. It looks like rain and isolated thunderstorms. And that is for Friday. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on these storms because these are the storms that we have a reported large tornado on, which like I said, where? I mean, if that, like, well, this is what I think is happening. I think that person is at a perfect vantage point to where he is. So there's like a wall cloud that's rotating up on the top, right? Or a scary looking cloud, and he is on a hill. So you know your hill is going to be like this, and he's going up a hill. So it creates.
Tornado warning for southern Cumberland County in central North Carolina, Cumberland County in North Carolina.
That's not the right storm. But anyways, so it create the illusion of it being on the ground. So like if you have, you know, a hill like this, you have your storm over here with some scud, and he's looking up this way. It may look like, you know, something's on the ground, right? But in reality, it may just be like clouds or scud. And, or it, I'm not sure, because I mean, that looked like a very valid tornado on his video there. It's definitely a wall cloud. I don't know if it was a tornado, but I mean, there's definitely a video of it. But anyways, we've got a tornado warning now for Fayetteville, North Carolina. To heck, tornado warning for NC, man. That's just not something I'm used to saying at all. So there's a little area now. This is a valid couplet. See, now that is a valid couplet right there. That is definitely why they've warned it. You can clearly see that is a an area of rotation. We'll wait for that to load. So very weak, not like ridiculously strong or anything, but a small area of rotation looks to be present right there. See you later, Girl Dev. Thanks for tuning in. So there's a small area of rotation here, moving up to the northeast. That's going to go up towards like Vander and Stedman, North Carolina. This tornado warning goes for, holy crap, that's a long time. 38 minutes. Wow. 38 minutes. That is quite the tornado warning. I guess that's because it's just approaching the warning box right now. That's not the one that we had a tornado reported on. The report was from this storm in Mullins. I don't know, or Marion, between Marion and Mullins. I don't know which one it was from. It was from one of these two or so. So we'll keep an eye on it. And if they tornado warn it, we'll know. We'll definitely know. But now we've got a tornado warning in effect here. I'm going to go ahead and switch this, and we're going to switch to this. Okay, so we now have a tornado warning for Cumberland, NC. That's the county in North Carolina. Make sure you guys are in your safe spot. This is for Fayetteville, Vander, Eastover, Stedman, and west of Autryville. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Make sure you are in your safe spot right now. That's not rotating towards Evansville, no. If it is, it's very weak to the point where I wouldn't even be concerned about it. Yeah, this is in a general thunderstorm risk, so no, not even at 2%. Nope, not at 2%. So make sure you're in your safe spot. That is actually strengthening quite a lot. Yeah, look at that area of rotation now. So that is actually strengthened quite a decent amount there. You've got winds going towards your radar, which in this case is in Raleigh, North Carolina. Winds going away from your radar. So this indicates an area of rotation, an area of spin going up in the atmosphere, down towards the ground here. And that is definitely capable of producing a tornado. So we'll continue to watch that very closely here. There is definitely no signs of a tornado on the ground right now, not with these signatures. There's no signs of a tornado on the ground, at least from radar. But keep in mind, we are We are looking 2,500 feet up, which is honestly not that bad. That's not really that bad. We are just 57 miles from the radar, so that's not like the worst radar coverage at all. So we'll continue to watch that closely. This is definitely the closest radar. I was seeing what radars were the closest. So, again, we've got a tornado warning here for Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Hope Mills, North Carolina. I wasn't expecting to cover a tornado warning today at all. But here we are. Might as well just check the other severes just in case. Because I haven't really gotten to look at these. Yeah. This is the only really interesting storm, and it popped out of nowhere. I mean, they did not waste time warning that. They warned that thing before it was even starting to really get its act together. They warned it a scan before here. So before it was even, really starting to go here. So just make sure you're in your safe spot, Fayetteville, North Carolina. I've actually been very close to that city before. I'm not in it though, but that is definitely a tornadic storm. Let me go ahead and quickly check. Yeah, 107,000 people. 107,000 people, 2 schools, and or my bad, 2 hospitals, 34 schools. So if you have any friends or family in Fayetteville, you can share them the stream if you want, but please let them know that they are under a tornado warning and that they need to be seeking shelter immediately. Now remember, a tornado warning means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. So they need to be taken very, very seriously. An update on the tornadoes that occurred yesterday for our urgent live stream. They did upgrade the Sulphur, Louisiana tornado to EF3, but then with further inspection, they downgraded that to a mid-tier EF2. So they have confirmed an EF2 from yesterday in Sulphur, and I believe an EF1 in downtown Lake Charles from our storms yesterday that we were tracking. Still a decent area of rotation present right here. Still very much present. Wind's going away from the radar and wind's going towards the radar. So right in the middle is where we have a pretty good area of rotation. So make sure you're in your safe spot. I've definitely seen tornado warnings for a lot less than this. So that is definitely an area capable of producing a tornado. Yeah, Kevin, that's not anything too crazy. Like, yeah, that is like, it's not a daily occurrence for a 5%, but we saw 8 EF3s on a 5% before, so 1 is not like a groundbreaking event. Unfortunately, from the damaging winds that occurred all the way from southeast Texas through south central, southwestern Mississippi, we actually did get a report of a fatality and 4 injuries. So that was quite a lot of damage, and unfortunately, 2 injuries from RVs that flipped, and then I think the fatality, from a tree that fell on a mobile home, and 1 fatality, 2 injuries from that. It was enhanced. It was a 30 sig wind, 30 sig hail, 5% tor. It was a very conditional tornado threat, so the 5% was definitely a good call for yesterday. I would have been blown away if they upgraded it. They also did confirm that tornado in south central Missouri from yesterday as well. I don't know if they rated that. An EF0, despite it being very strong, it didn't impact many structures. And then a tornado. Wow, Haley, there was a tornado to your north yesterday. Of a tornado that was on the ground east of St. Joseph, well to the north of you, for Cameron, Missouri. I did not even notice that one. And then, of course, the tornado in west of Palm City Beach yesterday. Already knew that one. And then the 2 tornadoes that occurred in Lake Charles. Oh, hold on. They confirmed 3. Wait a second. Tornado went through Sulphur EF2. Tornado went through Hollywood. I don't think they've confirmed that one, which is Western Lake Charles. And then another one in Westlake. And then another one in downtown Lake Charles. Hold on. How many of those have they surveyed? How many of those have they confirmed? Okay, so the one in Sulphur actually tracked from northwest to southeast. So that is one tornado that's actually quite tracked. That tracked quite a decent way there. And then the Westlake one tracked from northwest all the way through downtown Lake Charles. Thank goodness that was relatively weak, because the radar presentation on that looked crazy yesterday. Still a really good area of rotation out here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. 30 more minutes remain on this tornado warning. Seek shelter immediately if you are in that tornado warning. What is the Holly tornado? Buddy, there's been like 500 tornadoes in the last month. You're going to have to refresh me on which one that is. Holly, Texas. Still not ringing a bell because I'm stupid. What day? The day would help a lot. Shelf cloud on the beach would be awesome. Yeah. As long as it's not a tornado, I'm okay with it. Let's see. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this. Oh, Abilene on May 2nd. Yeah, see? Now you got it. Yeah, that was rated EF3. I didn't hear anything about fatalities out of that, but I know for a fact there was quite a few people injured from it. I can go all the way back to see the let's see here. Yeah, they didn't report any injuries with that, but I know for a fact there was injuries. But yeah, that's been rated EF3 with winds of, oh, there it is. 4 injuries, unfortunately. Yeah, they did report 4 injuries with that. And, yeah, winds of 165. So that is extremely high end. Very, very high end. Very close to EF4. That is, yep. And that's all because of the one home that it hit. And it flattened it. 165. That's where our 4 injuries came from. Damage warning for those of you who may be sensitive to damage. This is from May 2nd at 8:15, around the realms of 8:15 p.m. The tornado we tracked and saw in Connor's feed, this is the damage it did. So that's where we had 4 injuries reported as well, and that is what gave it its high-end EF3 rating. And that is courtesy of the National Weather Service out there in San Angelo. Let me look at that. Oh, Abilene. Abilene. Let me double check. See, that's the good thing about weather. You have like 15 different sources to check to make sure you get something right. Let's go over here is where it was located. Loading, loading, loading. San Angelo. I was right. Yeah, San Angelo. Haha. San Angelo. There's your air rotation still very much present. I want to check on these because they were also trying to rotate. Yeah, nothing there. Nothing there. Okay. These are just very faint areas of red and green, whereas this one is definitely rotating. I feel like some of that green is clear air. But regardless, this is definitely rotating. I don't think it's rotating as strong as what the velocities are saying, though. A damage report now just north of Lynchburg from our severe storm of multiple trees, or rather a report of a tree down across Flat Creek Highway for Moore County EMA. And that storm is now moving through Manchester, Tennessee. Legacy, I don't know if you're still here, if you knew this, but Murfreesboro was dropped from the severe, thankfully. So still stay indoors. But you got dropped from that severe thunderstorm warning. Also, a report from Nebraska of considerable hail at 1.75 inch in diameter out there, well to the west of Valentine. That is going to be 38.4 miles to the west of Valentine, Nebraska. This tornado warning is in effect for Fayetteville, North Carolina. If you're just tuning in, we have a tornado warning, which means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. Out here east of Hope Mills, just to the southeast of Fayetteville, going towards Stedman. Just giving you a broader view of this. There's your tornado warning in the red. So if you're in that red, seek shelter now. This is in North Carolina. This is a tornado warning for 25 more minutes out here for the potential of a tornado to develop or possibly be on the ground. There is nothing that makes me believe this is on the ground at the moment. However, you always want to treat a tornado warning as if there is a tornado on the ground because one could develop at any given second. That is still continuing off to the northeast. We'll wait for the new velocity scan on that. Let's see. Let's not click that one, shall we? There we go. How are those storms doing in Georgia? Some models depicted a tornadic threat in Georgia in about 2-3 hours. Let me just go check if that is still on some of these models. We got that new velocity scale. Yep, and that's where I was correct about that being contamination. So apparently now we've got 2 areas rotation, which is not the case. But generally, you do have an area of rotation somewhere in this general vicinity, so just make sure you're in your safe spot. The weird orientation of this storm from the radar site is making it scan through this storm 3 different times, to be honest, so it's contaminating it, long story short. Because if we switch to a different radar, it's going to look like a completely different storm. Yeah, that northern one's probably the one that's really rotating. This area of rotation right here is probably what's actually rotating. Yeah, it's still on the models for a potential tornadic threat tonight out there in Georgia. Towards 7, 8 o'clock. I'm unsure about that actually happening. Models like to spit stuff like that out all the time. We'll keep an eye on it, though. Southeast Georgia, East Central Georgia may have a brief tornadic threat for about an hour or 2. So again, there is a tornado warning in effect here for another 22 minutes out here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. In Stedman, North Carolina, seek shelter immediately. If you know anybody in that area, make sure you send them a quick text or call them. If they don't pick up, continue to call them until they do pick up, because they need to be in their safe spot. Also, if you are inside this warning here, make sure you are, make sure your whole family's in your safe spot. Make sure you take a way to receive watches warning so that way you know if it, may be lifted here shortly or not. So make sure, preferably, take your phone, take some shoes, and make sure you got your whole fam in there, including your pets too. You need to be in your safe spot. Typically, that's going to be in a basement or a storm shelter. If you don't have either one of those, it's going to be the most interior room of your home, on the lowest level of your home, and away from doors and windows. Again, this is in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where we have a tornado warning in effect. I want to wait another scan, so that way hopefully this contamination gets out of here, and then we can hopefully see it a little bit better. Our last scan was 3 minutes ago, so we should see one in about 30 seconds. Let's see here. All right, our reflectivity just updated 13 seconds ago, 15 seconds ago now. Our velocity should update, which is basically detecting if there's winds, how strong winds are. And that should update in 3 seconds, hopefully. I hope. Right now, please update. There you go. So probably still a very weak area of rotation. Like I said, I don't think this is anything strong or anything like that, but most likely still a small area of rotation there. Let's see here. Legacy, if she's in a flash flood prone area, tell her to seek higher ground immediately. Because there's a considerable level 2 out of 3 flash flood warning in effect there. So if she lives in a flash flood prone area, tell her to book it to higher ground immediately. Rockingham is getting some light to moderate rain right now. Other than that, very, very clear. Did have some isolated flash flooding. Rockingham is barely off to my south. Out there towards Reedsville, did have some isolated flooding that mainly stuck to just roads and some creeks. So it wasn't widespread enough to issue any type of warning or advisory. However, they did issue a flood advisory to the county south of Rockingham. Is that Caswell County? What county is that? I forgot what county's south. No, I want this flood advisory, people. Guilford County, North Carolina. It's Guilford. So they're in a flood advisory, which just basically what that means is, if you're in an urban area and there's, you got a creek next to you or you have a river next to you, you should probably, seek higher ground. Basically, some minor flooding in lower lying areas. If there's roads that have the drainage clogged by leaves or whatnot, they're probably going to be a bit more on the flooded side. You're probably going to have some water laying around on the streets and creeks and roads, so, be careful driving, drive slower. But Raleigh, if you're in a flash flood prone area out here in Raleigh, make sure you are seeking higher ground immediately, as that is a considerable flash flood warning, level 2 out of 3 on the flash flood warning scale, which we have. It's weird saying that, but we have, for severe storms, we have 3 levels of a severe storm. For tornado warnings, we have 4 levels. For flash flood warnings, we have 3 levels. And then for, I guess, snow, we kind of have like 5-ish. Because you have your winter weather advisories, your winter storm watch, your winter storm warning, then your blizzard watch, then your blizzard warning. I guess 5-ish. Fayetteville. So if you're in Fayetteville, you need to be seeking shelter. Fayetteville, North Carolina needs to be in their safe spot right now. You are in that tornado warning. However, the area of rotation is off to your southeast, so it's probably just a little cloudy out there, and that's it. That is probably all you're experiencing is a bit of clouds. So, it's probably not even raining out there. The area of rotation is going towards Stedman now. You can see how this has actually started to fall apart. So this is where our previous area of rotation was. See those green and reds? So that's where we had a previous area of rotation. Now we're getting another area that's going to try to develop out here. But even that's going to go away from Fayetteville. So that warning remains in effect for 16 more minutes. This is in North Carolina. Fayetteville, North Carolina. So this is actually outside the 2% tornado risk. So not even in a risk for tornadoes. Less than 2%. Less than 2%. Let's see. Yeah, that's not doing much either. We'll just stay on this one. I do want to go check the severe that just got warned up there in Kentucky, because One of my friends told me that could be rotating here. And it just got severe warned, yeah, for a tour possible. Tour possible now out there southeast of Russellville, Kentucky. Northwest of Franklin, Kentucky. So that is well to the east of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I'll just briefly show you guys that. So this is a tour possible severe out here. Nothing too impressive. There's a little bit of green and red here. A little bit of a notch on the storm, so it might be trying to rotate. But nothing too over the top at all. But again, we do have a tornado warning in effect for Fayetteville, North Carolina. Main precaution with that is just make sure you are in your safe spot and you will be perfectly fine. That was just dropped from Fayetteville, actually. So that is now no longer in effect for downtown Fayetteville. So even though we have 15 more minutes left on the warning, they just updated that, and you can see they took Fayetteville out of that. So now this is our small area left of a tornado warning. So if you're in downtown Fayetteville, you can come out of your safe spot. I still suggest staying indoors because of lightning activity. Let me see if this has a lot of lightning on it. It really doesn't have any lightning on it, but I would still stay indoors for, a couple more minutes just in case. Had one strike of lightning on it in the last 20 minutes. So we could actually see multiple brief tornadoes here. I see a lot of little couplets. Look at that. I see one here, 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 here. They're all extremely weak. And you can see NROT picks up on that too. You have one here, another one up here, another one over here near Roseboro, another one up here towards the Newton Grove, another one out here towards, let's see, that's Roseboro, I already mentioned that one. This one in Jerome's very weak. So just a lot of small areas. Typically when red and green is touching, it's a couplet, aka a area of rotation. So there's not much red and green here. You can see a little bit of green, barely any red, so that's probably not an area of rotation. This one in Roseboro has a bit of green and red, so that's probably a very weak area of rotation. This one in Newton Grove just fell apart, so it stayed with a bit of green and red, but again, very weak. So none of those are, producing a tornado at all because it's way too weak, so they haven't issued a warning at all. Whereas this one, which is still tornado warned, you can see that had some tight red and green right there, which is why we saw a tornado warning. So basically, if, like this, it's bright green and even bright red there as well. It's just tighter. It's tighter. These wind speeds, so this was probably about a 70 mile an hour area of rotation, so that's actually pretty good. Which is why it got tornado warned. They actually warned it before that, so they saw it. They saw it right here is when they warned it, and I mean, that is when it had 40 mile an hour rotation, which is not, it's not anything crazy, but still capable of producing a tornado, which is why they warned it. Then it strengthened, and now it is weakening. Just a storm that managed to attempt to produce a tornado. I didn't see any reports of a tornado with it, thankfully. Let's see here. So, yeah, we'll wait for that to expire. Again, this is in North Carolina now, to the east of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Barely east. Let's see here. So yeah, this is no longer anything impressive. So just make sure you guys are still in your safe spot. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we'll be doing briefings for the next few days, and then we're going to go into coverage. Tomorrow should actually be our last briefing, now that I think of it. Tomorrow's probably going to be the only day we do a briefing, and then Thursday will probably be coverage. Friday will probably be coverage. Saturday's up in the air, and then Sunday coverage, Monday coverage, Tuesday coverage, Wednesday coverage, Thursday coverage. I'm done for. I'm done for. Man. You're welcome, Isabel. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. Just, make sure you're in your safe spot for that tornado warning. I don't think it's on the ground at all, but, tornado warning means a tornado is imminent or possibly on the ground. So I do recommend, of course, being in your safe spot. Good luck, buddy. Thanks, Bez. I'm going to need it. I'm going to need it. The only time I have something going on the 24th through like the 27th, at like the end of May. I'm going to get pretty busy after the 24th. I have something on the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 27th. And then I'll have something on the 1st of June. So, yeah. Late May into early June. And it's actually going to concern the first thing. The second thing is going to just be something with my fam. But the first thing is going to concern you guys. So mark your calendars for May 24th. I have something planned for that day. And if it's severe weather, we'll do coverage. If not, we'll do a briefing. But it's probably going to be coverage. What are you streaming on Friday? Sometime on Friday. Is that good? Is that good enough? I don't know. I won't know until either the morning of Friday or just barely before Friday. So either I'll know that Thursday night or I'll know that Friday morning. One or the other. Vander has now just been extended from that warning, so it now only includes Stedman, North Carolina. So it's getting smaller and smaller. If this was still rotating, they would extend that warning. But they haven't, so. Let me see this. That tornado warning, by the way, remains in effect for just 8 more minutes. So if you are in that, just stay in your safe spot 8 more minutes until that's lifted. And then once it's lifted, I still recommend staying indoors, but you'll be able to come out of your safe spot. Let's see. Is that the severe storm in Nebraska near McCook? Kevin? What storm is that? Is it there's a special weather statement west of Lexington. There's a random storm in the middle of Nebraska. And there's a storm in northern Nebraska. I think is that the one in northern Nebraska? I see some velocities on that, but it's far from the radar, so you can't trust that. There's no area of rotation anymore with these storms, any of them. They've all fallen apart. They have all fallen apart. You mean Michigan, or not Michigan, but Mission, Nebraska, Mission, I can't speak. I cannot speak. It's Mission, South Dakota. You mean South Dakota. You can't see over there at all. There's no radars. Where the heck are the radars up here? There's no radars in central South Dakota. There's no radars. So even if it is rotating, you wouldn't even be able to see it. Unless it's like really strong. Even then, you're still going to have trouble seeing it. So we'll keep an eye on this tornado warning. Once again, it's only in effect for the next 6 minutes in North Carolina. So just a few more minutes. I wouldn't be too shocked if it produced a brief tornado, to be honest, because it honestly had a quite impressive couplet for one scan. It was a pretty impressive couplet, and then it just fell apart after that. If it did produce a tornado, it definitely was very weak. Thank you for subscribing, Larry. Much appreciated. Go check this really fast. There we go. We do have other severes. We can go to our nationwide radar here. Did they just issue a new MCD? Okay, that was a while ago. That was a while ago. Blah, 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 blah. MCS as it propagates eastward this evening should gradually weaken with time. All right, there you go. So basically, an isolated severe storm or two will remain for the next hour or so, but it's going to weaken to the point where they are not going to issue a new watch. So we have this one severe out here in Hillsborough, which I'm not shocked they issued that because it's bowing out. See how it's bowing out a bit from the line? So that indicates some isolated damaging winds with it. So that's one for 60 mile-an-hour winds, 0.75 inch hail. For the next 20 minutes. That's almost outside of the warning, so we'll see if they continue that. That is a severe warning, which means stay indoors, away from doors and windows. Then we have this severe in Middleton, Kentucky for a tornado possible. What that means is stay indoors, away from doors and windows, and stay close to your safe spot because they're monitoring an area of potential rotation and it could drop a tornado, so they might upgrade that to a tornado warning. But in this case, the area which warranted that severe warning with a TOR possible tag, has broken apart now. So you can see how it had this notch here. It had this notch on it, which also had a small area of rotation. I can't find a good color. We'll do blue. So it had that notch there, had a small area of red and green touching each other. So they issued that severe for TOR possible. Now that notch is gone. It's flattened out. So it's more outflow dominant, more of a wind threat, and very small hail threat. And then we have a severe up here in south central Nebraska, northwestern Kansas. That is one for 1.25 inch hail, 60 mile-an-hour winds for 50 more minutes. 49 more minutes now. Okay, that's been there for a while. All right, back to our tornado warning. So again, tornado warning still in effect for Steedman, North Carolina. Make sure you are in your safe spot. What mic do I use? I use a Fine mic. Let me see the exact one I use. Yeah, it's like $50. I got it with the mic stand for $50. It was on sale for like $30. And it's been the best purchase. It's been the best purchase. Cheap mic that works really, really well. I'm sure I could upgrade, but honestly, this has worked perfectly fine for me. I've never had any issues with it, ever. The only time I had an issue with it was when I kicked the cord and it fell out of my computer. So that was more of a me problem. That was my fault. Where the heck did that happen? Where did we get another EF2? I saw the EF2 in Lake Charles and the EF1 over there. Oh, shoot. Were we live for that? I don't know if we were live for that. That was probably at the end of our coverage yesterday, because unfortunately it was one of the streams I had to cut short. Typically I don't cut streams short like that, but I had stuff to do. That was either touching down right as I left. Let's see. There's Rosedale. Okay, was it near Baton Rouge? It was between Lafayette and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, yesterday. I think that was the last tornado warning we covered. Was it over a river? If it was over a river, yeah, that was the last tornado warning we covered produced an EF2 tornado that went right through Henderson, Louisiana. Wow. I'm glad I stayed live 10 more minutes yesterday for that one, because it produced a tornado. That was in the radar hole. Uh-oh. Hope this doesn't try to recycle. We're having a cell merge here. So that's where one storm hits another storm. So these are merging. This previously tornado, or still tornado one for 60 seconds or less, is moving up here. And this is moved into the storm and it's merging. What this could do is it could intensify, and you can see it. We're getting some red and green here. Could intensify the thunderstorm to the point where it might begin to rotate. And we are now without a tornado warning. But that might not last too long if that stays there another scan. Let's hope that breaks up next scan. Alright, what else do I need to see here? We already did the live weather briefing, so if you guys were here for the upcoming severe threat, you could just watch the first hour or so of the live stream. We did a pretty in-depth look at the severe threat with that one. And, yeah. Now we've turned it into coverage thanks to our tornado warning that was issued. So that's been fun. So we'll continue to watch this area of rotation. I don't think it's rotating that much, but we'll see. Is Nightbot getting on you, Caleb? Let's see what Nightbot's doing. What's Nightbot deleting? Let's time out Nightbot for a minute. We'll do 5 minutes because it's messing with Caleb. I use Streamlabs. Huntington, Tennessee. What about it? Yeah, it's in a perfect radar hole. What about it? I mean, you can't really see much with that storm at all. Literally, it shows a bit of red, and this dude's like, rotation? Man. Hundreds, holy crap, Legacy, go to the hospital. 106 fever? What are you doing with that? You need to go to the hospital. Jeez. That's not good. Oh, 2 years ago. Whew. You scared me, Legacy. I was like, gracious. You gave me a heart attack. I was like, that is up there. Did you go to the hospital for it? I hope you did. Hi, Lucky. Hi, Lucky. Are you alive?
Good morning.
Yeah, Lucky decided to join the live stream. You just missed a 45-minute tornado warning, dude.
What for North Carolina? Yeah. I know.
Yeah. Now Tor Possible. They just put Tor Possible on it.
I know. I'm tracking it, so I was tracking it the whole time. You
Um,
got tagged.
Are you in
some-
that flash flood warning?
Who?
You?
No.
Okay. Because like that's a considerable flood warning. I can't remember the last time I saw that. I remember a flood warning for Raleigh like sometime early this year or late last year, but that's
Dude,
considerable.
Decent rain band just passed me.
I heard a dog.
Like, you're gonna just keep hearing it screaming right now.
Nashville is clear. Isolated thunderstorms tonight towards 9 p.m. Central, but you should be pretty much clear. I was in the hospital for 10 days. Yeah, that sounds about right with 106 fever. Hey, I don't know, Legacy. Seems like you have a fever and a headache every day, so... Honestly, it wouldn't really surprise me. Can you check if that area near... How the heck... Tegnail? Who named that thing?
Dang. TRG.
Yep.
Isn't my voice really that noticeable? Look what Caleb said.
Lucky sounds sick. Yeah, he is. That is actually the storm I was talking about. That is the storm I was talking about with the small tornado potential towards, over the next 2 hours or so. That's going to be it. It's either going to be, it's going to be hail and tornadic potential with it. So if you're out in front of that, I would be very weather aware for sure. So if you're out in front of that storm, just heads up to y'all out there in Greenwood, South Carolina, Newberry. It's also McCormick,
Columbia, that's a big one.
Chaplin. Yeah, Columbia, it might go to the northwest of Columbia. No, it's going to go right towards that area. You're right. Yep.
That's a big like area for South
It's moving
Carolina.
east to northeast, so it's moving generally in this direction. There you go. Yeah, Greenwood, Newberry, Waynesboro, Columbia, Edgefield, Saldia. Nailed it.
Nailed it, bro.
The peak of that storm will probably be in about an hour, 30 minutes or so. So we'll watch it for however long I stay live here. Whoops. Okay. So just make sure you guys are staying weather aware out there for the rest of today if you're inside the risk area. The main area is probably going to be this slight risk, this yellow area out here in northern Florida. So we'll keep an eye on that. We will keep a very close eye on that. And we just got an MCD in Texas. That was actually a while ago. I missed that. It was probably when we had the tornado warning. Let's see. I hate to tell you, we're not staying live for a 5% chance for a watch to be issued.
Yeah, no. That's like saying there's a chance of Lucky getting into a watch. Very, 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 very slim.
Isolated severe gust and an instance of marginal hail may occur with any storm. That is some North Carolina wording right there. But it's Texas.
You know what? TJ, give me 1 minute.
What are you gonna do? Go stick your hand out the window or something? There's a little line that just passed you. Did you go outside for that?
Oh no, I didn't realize it was. I saw a little heavy rain, but that's what I was talking about. A little mini rain band just passed me.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute really quick, Lucky.
Okay.
You might want to go look at some previous scans on that. Just saying.
I'm looking at your screen right now. Yeah. But the chances of that actually. Where was it at? Since.
Somewhere. I didn't see it.
I probably couldn't even see it with all the trees.
No, there's no tornado warning anywhere.
Yeah. Wait. So did you mute me or did you mute yourself?
I muted myself for a minute.
Oh.
Or like 5 seconds.
All right. Well, mute me real quick for 5 seconds.
Alrighty. What are you doing now? Oh, okay. Have fun with that. So yeah, y'all, we'll be live for a briefing tomorrow on these severe potential again because we're gonna need to update y'all on it. I wouldn't be shocked if we see multiple 15% on the day 4 through 8 outlook, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't highlight any of it. Because there's some uncertainty. So just just make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so that way you can stay up to date with the weather, and more importantly, if you can, like the stream, share it with your family, friends, social media. That's what matters the most because if you share it, we reach more people. Hit the like button, we reach more people as well. Let's see. I have not heard anything else about that tornado that might have occurred in South Carolina. I'll go see if I can get an update here. Let's see. We'll keep an eye on it. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a warning soon for this storm. Oh, hi.
Tornado warning for Central Sampson County in central North Carolina, Sampson County in North Carolina.
I already saw that last scan, but I just remembered I didn't tell you guys. But yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we're not gonna be live for that long. We won't be live for that long. That's for 51 more minutes. Wow. Might have been a weak tornado. Might have been a weak tornado, but I don't think it was anything too crazy in South Carolina. All right, there we go. Yeah, but yeah, we just got a tornado warning for Roseboro, Clinton, Salemburg, Bonnetsville, Keener, Turkey, in North Carolina. So we'll keep an eye on that. Make sure you are seeking shelter, as that is a tornado warning storm, meaning a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. So make sure you are, let's see here. But make sure you are in your safe spot. For Abilene, shouldn't be much at all for today. Isolated rumble of thunder is really your main concern. Primary day is by far, right now at least, the next primary day by milestone is Thursday. Thursday looks like some big old hail potential and some isolated damaging winds, maybe even a tornado threat. Thursday looks pretty big, to be honest, for the hail and wind potential. I don't know about the tornado threat. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Friday definitely is the biggest day for Abilene. So we'll continue to keep an eye on it. And I will update y'all on if anything does change here. Sorry, I've gotten distracted by this. This person who's they reported a wall cloud on the storm in South Carolina. I really don't believe any of that, to be honest. If it is, it's very weak. I have a feeling this guy's mistaking Scud for a wall cloud. No, yes, I said that right. We're going to end the stream shortly, though. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel. Even though there's a tornado warning, it's nothing like... it's... I kind of want to cover it, but I'm not gonna. We'll still stay here for a bit longer. With the days that are ahead, this is about as inactive as you're going to get. This is probably the least active day that we are going to see over the next 2 weeks. So, I'm not going to continue any longer than 20 minutes, so just please make sure you guys are subscribed if you want to tune back in here. Make sure you share the channel with your family, friends, social media. I'm thinking about trying to make a video sometime soon because I want to make a video on the potential for late May. Maybe as things get closer, but if I don't make that video like tomorrow, there's no chance that I'm going to get it done, you know, anytime soon with the severe weather that's around the corner. Why there's so many fires in Canada? Because it's Canada. Still waiting on the bins and for Chase. I want to chase. I wish I could chase. We haven't had any good threats here. We have a marginal tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm gonna if I'm gonna chase that. So we'll see. Lucky ditched me. He ran away. Yeah, there is still a tornado warning in effect here for Roxborough. Could easily drop a weak tornado, so just make sure you're in your safe spot. Kentucky, there's some rumbles of thunder in western and southwestern Kentucky right now. But nothing significant or even severe. Right now, our only severe storms is a severe thunderstorm warning in south central South Dakota that we cannot see because it's a radar hole for the Whitten and Carter area in south central South Dakota for 1.5 inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Another severe in south central Nebraska, northwestern Kansas for 1 inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and a severe out here in North Carolina for tornado possible, 60-mile-an-hour winds and 0.75 inch hail, and that has a tornado warning on it. So if you're inside that tornado warning, you need to seek shelter now. So we'll see. I have a feeling this is contamination now. I really don't feel like it's rotating that much. Because see, your velocities are here, but it's on the edge of pixels. So I don't feel like it's rotating that intensely. Because if it was, then we've got a really good area of rotation of near 100-mile-an-hour rotation there. Zachary, we did have a possible tornado unwarned in between Marion and Mullins from a chaser who reported a tornado possibly hitting the ground. Very brief and most likely weak. No reports out of these storms in North Carolina just yet. Let's see here. All right. See you later, Caleb. Thanks for tuning in. Did you like the stream, Caleb? He's probably already left here. How dare you, Caleb? You didn't like the stream. Oh, sure you did. See here. The Evansville ones are doing nothing. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. There's nothing happening up there at all. There's no rotation. Bye, Caleb. Man. There's 31,000 people who need to be seeking shelter from this storm here and going towards Clinton, North Carolina. 31,035 people, 11 schools, 1 hospital. Thanks for subscribing, Nathan. Much appreciated. This is turned into coverage, but it wasn't planned on coverage. The whole point in a briefing, which is what this technically is, because it's planned to be a briefing, even though we've moved a bit into coverage. It's just to get the word out about the severe potential over the next few days and reach as many people as we can with the word about that severe potential. And then once we start seeing those warnings come through and everything the day after the briefing, then we just do coverage. So this has kind of been a bit of a mix of both. The first half was a full-fledged briefing, and then the second half has turned into full-fledged coverage because of these tornado warnings. This is the second one now. So we'll see what happens. We'll just watch it closely. I'm not convinced that that's rotating. It might be rotating a bit, but I'm not convinced it's that notable there. So we'll keep an eye on it. We still have like 3-4 more scans we'll see before I start wrapping up stream here. Let me mute the audio so that way, just in case Lucky comes back, tries to break my ears, I don't hear him. So yeah, again, we'll just continue to watch this, and we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Man, that is crazy. I'm looking at the aurora that happened the other day. Went far south as Puerto Rico, dude. That is a once in a 100-year event right there. It'll probably happen pretty soon, to be honest. So yeah, just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in this severe storm. Let's see here. So yeah, like I said, we'll end the stream here in 14 minutes. Even though we have quite a few people watching, which actually I'll just go over everything real quick since we do have a few people watching, because you know more people will be weather aware. So let me just go over our severe threats over the next few days. Basically, we are just watching for the severe potential over the next 2-3 weeks. So our next big day, tomorrow shouldn't be anything too crazy. Friday will probably be our next big day. Thursday might be big for hail, wind, and a brief tornado, but Friday should be big for all hazards. But there is some uncertainty regarding how storms will fire, which is why they haven't introduced higher probability risk just yet for Friday or widespread. Sunday, we've got severe potential in the plains. Monday, we'll have severe potential, and this could be big potential in the plains. And then Tuesday, we have severe potential. Wednesday, severe potential. Thursday, severe potential. Friday, severe potential. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then it starts to tamper off as we go towards May 28th, May 29th. So we'll see. We'll see, but it's basically going to be 2 weeks of straight severe weather. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hello, Knight. Welcome to the stream. Alrighty. So that's what we're looking at. A lot of severe potential. And I don't know what this is going to show, so I'm just quickly going to switch all over here. There you go. Switch all back here. So here's our official outlook for today. We've got a very big 2%. What? Here's look. I just noticed that there's a tiny 2% on southeast Louisiana. 2% up here, big 2% over here. Our tornado warnings are in generally this area. They've been in this region here is where we've had our tornadic activity so far. Outside the 2% today, wind threat 15%, hail threat 15 and 15. This slight risk here is overnight. That doesn't kick off until about midnight 1 a.m. and then it persists into tomorrow, where we have a 2% and a 5% tornado risk, and then another 2% back here towards Oklahoma, Kansas, with a big slight risk there for mainly wind and hail potential. Still not expected to be significant for tomorrow. And then Friday, this is Thursday, not Friday, this is Thursday. We've got a 15 hatched area, which means they're already anticipating significant severe weather. This will most likely be in the form of hail and possibly wind. A couple tornadoes will also be possible with this day. However, the tornado threat is still a bit on the uncertain side. Just because it's a bit farther out. But tomorrow we'll know more details on Thursday. And then Friday, we have a decent-sized 15% out here in Louisiana, Mississippi. It's on the smaller side of the 15% we've seen in 2024. This is either going to be a small severe day, small slight risk like this, or we could be looking at a full-fledged outbreak with the potential of all hazards all the way from, near Houston all the way back up towards near Huntsville. So we'll keep a very close eye on Friday. There's a lot of uncertainties. So right now they've just gone ahead and went with more of a conservative forecast and flopped a small 15% in the middle. And then throughout the rest of the day, 5 through the rest of the day, 4 through 8 outlook. So day 5, 6, 7, and 8. They talk about the potential for severe weather throughout this whole thing. Basically, long story short, several days of severe weather will be possible. However, models are still uncertain on the exact timing of these severe events. So therefore, they have not introduced any additional 15% on day 5, 6, 7, or day 8. So there's a rundown of our severe weather. And still at a tornado warning out here for Bonnettsville and Clinton. And this storm's actually gotten a bit more organized over the last few scans here as it goes over Bonnettsville. We could easily see a weak tornado attempt to form out here and then move towards Clinton. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to stay alive for too much longer. I swear every single time I'm on a time limit is once we start seeing severe weather, because I can't be here for too much longer. Thankfully, it is just one tornado warning and not multiple. I swear, every single time I'm on a time limit, there's severe weather. Every other time. I have 12 hours to spare for pretty much any other day. There's like no severe weather. Let's see here. Alrighty. We did just get a new severe. That is out there for Scottsboro. 1-inch hail 60. Nothing too impressive with that. If you're out there in Pleasant Grove, Skyline, Scottsboro, just make sure you are indoors away from doors and windows. This tornado warning towards Clinton will remain in effect for 32 minutes. So make sure you are staying in your safe spot, and this is in North Carolina. I want to give this one more scan, but we're going to start wrapping this up. So thank you guys for the support on this live stream. We reached just about 2,500 people today with the word of severe weather. That area of rotation did just weaken on the last scan, which is good news, but it's still very capable of producing a tornado as it approaches Clinton. So just make sure you guys are in your safe spot as this moves your way in North Carolina. So yeah, I still have one more scan here. We'll still wait 3 more minutes before we start closing out, but in about 3 minutes, I'll start doing our outro music. So thank you guys for tuning in. It was greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for spending 2 hours with me. I'll be right back here tomorrow. I don't plan on coverage tomorrow. Let me look at the risk area again. By the way, if you guys could hit the like button on your way out. We only have 14 likes away from our like goal, and yeah, I don't plan on doing coverage for tomorrow. I'll check the model real quick since we just got a new one. We might cover the start of it towards 6 o'clock, maybe. But I don't plan on doing complete coverage for multiple hours. All right. Oops. Alrighty, y'all. I want to give it one more scan here. This is GR2 analysis, so yeah, I have keybinds for it. I can just switch between everything. I have 4 panels. I have everything all coordinated in it. But this is Radar Omega, which might be what you're talking about, and there's special keys for it. I think you hold Shift and hold on, let me go here. So yeah, Shift and R goes for reflectivity. Shift and V does velocity. Shift and C does correlation coefficient. So those are your main ones. All right, that's going to be it, y'all. I know we have a lot of people watching. I would continue, but I have to, unfortunately, go do stuff. It always happens. It always happens. These are the only 2 days that I actually have, like, a time limit on my live streams. Oh, well, that looks a lot weaker on the Clinton storm now. So that tornado warning, their rotation just died out fast. So if you guys could, just real quick, hit the like button on your way out. We're only 6 away. Hit the subscribe button on your way out with the notification bell set to all, because you'll be notified when I go live tomorrow or make a video. And if you can, share this with your family, friends, social media. It was great spending a couple of hours with you guys, and I hope every one of y'all have a fantastic rest of your night. And big shout out to all the mods like Catman Brooklyn, Legacy, Lucky, and Caleb for modding the chat. And I will see you guys sometime in tomorrow's live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye. stay safe, watch severe weather, and I'll see you guys sometime in tomorrow's live stream. I'm planning for around the time frame of 6 p.m. Eastern, but it might be a bit sooner. So